Sasha and Bayley doing Sasha and Bayley-ish things, and it's the very best thing. First of all, congratulations to the boss. It's boss time, guys! Isn't it so cool? Well done to the boss for ending the curse and defending her title in a WWE ring for the first time ever, or something, whatever the story is. And second of all, well done to WWE SmackDown, or the creative boffins in charge of the show at least. A pay-per-view quality match with a clean finish happening on a weekly show. The end is nigh, the end is nigh. Time to run away, the end is nigh. SmackDown spunks right in Raw's eye every single week, doesn't it? Well done, SmackDown. And then we get on to Buddy Murphy, who is going to shaft Seth Rollins. You just mark my words, this is a thing that's going to happen a few weeks down the line. But you just know that horrible controlling father, Mr. Ronald Mysterious, he's not going to see what Buddy Bloody Murphy's plans are. And he's going to stop Aaliyah's heart from getting what Aaliyah's heart wants. She can't help it, Ray. I've seen everybody and their dog on the Twitter machine. Yes, Twitter for dogs is a thing, believe me. Saying, what the hell is Buddy Murphy doing? He's back to being aligned with Seth Rollins. What the hell's he doing? He literally grabbed Aaliyah and said, trust me, Aaliyah, trust me. I'm telling you, he's going to out-architect the architect. And then we have the big dog himself, Roman Reigns, still absolutely fantastic, still corrupting the beautiful little mind of one Jey Uso. Fantastic start to the night, couldn't have been any better. Sasha versus Bayley, great stuff. The rest of the night I thought was pretty tickety-boo, apart from one segment involving Lars Sullivan. More on that a little bit later as we take a look at all of the WTF moments from last night's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Intro man over there. Hit the intro, will you, pal? I'm sorry, Miss Braxton. Oh, are you for real? Oh, terrible. You were there at the start of last night's SmackDown, Kayla Braxton, speaking to Bayley, saying to Bayley that since Bayley has been in WWE, herself and Sasha Banks have been intertwined together. And it was the tone and the emphasis put on together, coupled with the promo package that we had just seen a few seconds before Miss Braxton said together, that had me saying WTF. Because those two things combined, they are telling me that we are completely disregarding Bayley versus Sasha Banks in NXT. And that ain't it, Chief, because don't even at me, fam. I think the kids might say Sasha Banks versus Bayley in NXT is the best Sasha Banks versus Bayley. And I include in that the past few months. As good as the past few months has been, NXT was better. Let's not forget it, WWE. And there I was before that happened there on last night's SmackDown, thinking the only reason that Carmella is and or was untouchable is because she locked herself away inside of a room with a butler and a massive case of champagne. Yeah! It's like Aleister Black, but fancy. But no, it turns out she's like John Cena, because Sasha Banks, she couldn't see her. So you think you're untouchable? John Cena asked the WWE Universe all the way back in 2002, and then Carmella replied here in the year of 2020, yes I am, John, yes I am. And I guess down your drinks for a return while we're at it as well. Here drinking on a Saturday afternoon. It's what we all do, and we all love it, because she was there for the first time in a physical sense. She was there in the arena, inside the Thunderdome, for the first time in a while. Why that had to be mentioned, I've got no idea. Now, I know they are on the same team at Survivor Series 2020, but bloody hell, smack my arse and call me Gertrude, everybody. We have a little mini feud in WWE that has come about as a result of a cup of coffee. Never ever did I believe we'd ever see the likes of this again, but here we are. No, this time it's not because Chris Jericho spilled some hot black coffee all over Kane's titties. Oh, that was a sentence and a half. It is because Jey Uso was making a cup of coffee because Roman Reigns said to Jey Uso, you make me a cup of coffee now because I sit at the end of the table and not in the middle like you do, you little cuck. And then Kevin Owens laughed at Jey Uso for doing what Roman Reigns told him to do. Coffee at the centre of a mini feud, a one-night feud, I guess, in WWE. Fantastic, lovely stuff. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ross, where is gimmick infringement Kane to point out the gimmick infringing on what was his own gimmick once upon a time, being covered in coffee? And I'm here to tell you that gimmick infringement Kane is still in custody because of what he threatened to do to Maggle Cole all the way back at Hell in a Cell 2020. And it's probably for the best. Oh, we are really missing gimmick infringement Kane today, because this time we have Kayla Braxton herself, who has clearly been watching Monday Night Raw. She has seen Charlie Caruso being a real little Miss Sassy Pants to her interviewees, being an utter bitch to her interviewees, and she's thought, you know what, Charlie Caruso, you've sort of toned that down over the last few months. I'm going to take that and I'm going to be a Miss Sassy Pants myself. Go back and watch that little interaction from last night, because Kayla Braxton was taking no prisoners. She was taking the piss out of Jey Uso, and she was not apologising for it one bit. It was compelling viewing. The balls on you, Kayla Braxton, for taking on Jey Uso, who, by the way, has his tea on the same table as Roman Reigns, the big dog, no less. You're fearless, but also a bitch. And then we have Maggle Cole saying to Corey Graves, Corey, what if you had to come to work and not only deal with a massive monster like big baldy bastard Baron Corbin, but also keep your personal affairs in order and watch your dirty laundry be aired on international television? Sort of. He said something like that, yeah. And Corey replied to that, Maggle, I think I can relate to something like that. Ho ho, saucy. But the WTF moment here, dear viewer, it's got nothing to do with the thing you think it might have something to do with. It's nothing to do with that dirty laundry comment from Corey Graves. It's something else. It's obviously Corey Graves comparing working alongside Maggle Cole to having to deal with a big, scary, massive monster like big, baldy bastard Baron Corbin. It must be horrible to sit next to Maggle Cole for multiple hours every single week. Poor Corey.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
And now we have the moment where Corey Graves himself called big baldy bastard Baron Corbin the reigning King of the Ring. And as we all know, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin became King big baldy bastard Baron Corbin on the 16th of September last year. So I think it's safe to assume we're not going to have another King of the Ring for some time to come. So I'm asking the question, everybody, if there is no King of the Ring to come, can you still call yourself a reigning King of the Ring? Whatever your answer might be to that, let's just all be in unison here. Let's just all agree that big baldy bastard Baron Corbin needs to get rid of the king shtick. It's been long enough. Question. Where's Liv Morgan? Now, I know this new version of the Riott Squad, without Sarah Logan, of course, was barely a thing to begin with the way they have been booked on WWE TV over the last little while. WWE, what the hell is going on there? But I cannot have been the only one to be slightly surprised to not see Liv Morgan out there supporting her best friend, Ruby Riott, while Ruby Riott was in singles action. Now, I can't remember which WWE pay-per-view it was. Maybe you might know better than I do, which I hope you do, because I don't know what it is at all. But there was somewhere in the not too distant past where I completely lost it at Natalya, because Natalya was being a silly goose. And wouldn't you just know it, dear viewer, she was showing more of that silly gooseness on this week's SmackDown. And that's because she lost a match in the only way Natalya could. There is no other WWE superstar who could lose their match by applying a submission hold, surely feeling that someone's sort of like behind her arse doing a submission hold at the same time. And then Natalya, even though she was in that position there, she let go, allowing Ruby Riott to pick up the victory. Only Natalya would do that. Natalya, how long have you been doing the professional wrestling and we're doing silly bollocks like this? Come on, man. What's wrong with you? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what. They were all just laughing like this for ages, and I got no idea what was going on. Is that how it goes? Right then, I will admit this much. When Murphy was looking at Otis and Corey Graves said that it's like Murphy looking in a funhouse mirror, I was thinking, well done, Corey Graves. That is a fantastic line for a heel commentator on a professional wrestling show. But when the supposedly impartial play-by-play commentator Maggle Cole started corpsing so hard that first of all, Matthew had to send for the man, and second of all, he couldn't speak for about 25-30 seconds afterwards, I was thinking, Maggle Cole, you're being a bit of a dick there, aren't you? You bully? Be a star. Don't be one of those. Now, I don't know why. I mean, we should expect this sort of thing from Lars Sullivan of all people, at this juncture in the history of the world. But when we cut to this interview, where we were promised where, much like last week, where Corey Graves just had a sit down and a chat with Lars Sullivan, Maggle Cole was going to do the same, and we just sort of flicked on to that image there. I started ruffling. I started lamowing. I started penicillin and I laughed. I'm just asking the question, WWE, what happened to the suave, lovely fitting polo shirt from last week's show? Because it was almost as if WWE had said to themselves, wow, that segment last week, that was so good, let's do it again, but shirtless. Baffling. And then once again, I was ruffling, I was lamowing, I was ha-haring, I was any other word you want to use for laughing, when Lars Sullivan was speaking about how he got bullied for the way he dresses while he was sat there shirtless. The irony of it all. The irony. And then I was continuing to listen to the things coming out of Lars Sullivan's head, and I was hearing a man admitting to many violent crimes and also to torturing children live on international television. Quite frankly, I hope he's arrested. And then we got to one of the most baffling moments in recent WWE history. Here we have the supposedly big and scary Lars Sullivan, someone who we should be scared of apparently if we're sat as close to him as Maggle Cole and Corey Graves have been over the past couple of weeks. And I don't know what to say. Lars Sullivan said to Maggle Cole, I can do this, you know, Maggle. Ah! Ah! That's scary. That's intimidating. That's bullying, Lars Sullivan said. Lars Sullivan, the supposed big scary monster type, he sat there on SmackDown and said to Maggle Cole, Maggle, I can do a Raw, you know. And then he went and did a Raw. And I just didn't know what to think, everybody. Even though it was Lars Sullivan. And we know all about Lars Sullivan's exploits outside the ring. But are they relevant here? I don't know. But I was thinking, wow, even Lars Sullivan, after he said he was going to do a Raw, and then he did a Raw, that's so cute and adorable. Bless him. He's like a 5-year-old kid. Look, Mom, I can jump off this park bench. Whee! Look, Mom, I don't know, put me spit towards the floor and suck it back up into me head. Whoa, look at how clever I am. Look, Mom, I'm Lars Sullivan, a 47-year-old man, and I can roar. Ah! Pathetic, man. He's so bad. Get him off. And anyway, Lars, right, you think that's impressive? First of all, Shania Twain was saying that don't impress me much. And I'm here to say to you, I can do this, Lars Sullivan. You can't do that, can you? Eh? Huh? Anyone else find it a bit strange that Roman Reigns has this massive, big, fancy private dressing room inside the Thunderdome? Yet there's no telly inside of it. He has to go outside to watch the telly. And then to round things off, last week, of course, we saw Jey Uso defeat Daniel Bryan, which might have been a WTF moment before this thing with Roman Reigns kicked off. And now we've got Jey Uso. Yes, I know it came via a nut to the nuts. But he's defeated Kevin Owens as well. And context is key here, because in context, it's fine. But imagine saying that a few short months ago. It's a WTF moment. But we're not here a few short months ago, Ross. We're here today. So shut up and end the video. I'll do that, Ross, all right? Oh my God, what the heck? So yes, that's it for your WTF moments from this week's SmackDown. Thank you once again for watching this other nonsense. Raw! That's scary, isn't it, Lars Sullivan? So just a reminder that tonight we have AEW Full Gear live reactions on this very YouTube channel. Jack the Jobber and my favourite for the Cultaholic heavyweight title, Owen Mawson. If I can't win, I hope Owen does. What a story that would be. They're going to be here with their live reactions for Full Gear. And then tomorrow we've got What Happened At Graded. I'll be back with WTF moments. I'm sure there's more things going on because nobody tells me nothing here. But I've been Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic Wrestling, and I'll see you tomorrow.